Local Justice, presented by Elrod Law Firm, serving our community since 1980. Here's your host, Attorney Ben Leader.
Welcome to Local Justice, where we take a dive with local community members who advise, guide, protect, and serve justice in our community. We've got Sheriff Tony Breeden here with us today, a special guest as he's the newly elected sheriff. He also spent 28 years with the City of Rock Hill Police Department and also is a former Marine Corps veteran as well. So Tony, thanks again for appearing on our show with us. We're glad to have you today.
Appreciate it.
Look forward to continuing the conversation.
That's right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So I want to dive right in and talk a little bit about some of your vision and priorities, under your tenure so far. What are some of the main priorities you're looking at and focusing on right now as a department as a whole?
Well, throughout the whole campaign, and you see it, one of the major complaints we hear over and over is traffic. And a lot of sheriff's offices don't focus on traffic a lot because they're worried about writing voters and this, but we also believe that traffic safety and the safety of the citizens are as much our responsibility as the Highway Patrol. And, we probably have more fatalities in York County than we did homicides last year. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the number one priorities, to build the traffic unit up to help with traffic safety. We recently partnered with Chester, the Highway Patrol, and Rock Hill on a Highway 72 blitz because of the high traffic volume, high collision rate on 72, South Carolina 72, between us and Chester. And during that 30 days that we were up there, there was not a single collision in that stretch.
Wow.
So that we believe in that. So another thing that, we want to put a true emphasis on our victims and to protect our victims. And, one of the things that I'm most passionate about is protecting our children, everybody's babies and their kids. So we have probably one of the most aggressive sexual predator units to try and find them and locate them and bring them to justice anywhere regionally. And so we want to continue to do that. We want to run operations on it. We want to continue to do that. But really to grow our investigative unit and to, we're trying to put financial crimes detectives in now, trying to increase the property crimes. We recently made a really good educational video on car break-ins because it's one of the number one property crimes we have. And it's a really good high quality production on how to prevent it. And we're purchasing 6 large signs with the QR code, and on the sides it'll tell you how to prevent the car break-ins, and in the middle will be the QR code to take you to the link to watch the videos. And now we can move those all around the county and be able to put them in areas where we've had an increase, and then maybe people can see it, because if you just simply lock your car doors and don't leave valuables, you're not going to be a victim. So those are just a couple of the things that we prioritized to try and to make sure that we're doing.
Yeah, and speaking of the video, we talked a little bit earlier about the website y'all have, the York County Sheriff website, and I was telling you I thought it was a tremendous resource. There's a lot more packed into there than most people realize, and the ability to put a request in to do a ride along, the ability for some community involvement and participation, and really gives the public an idea of what y'all have going on.
Yeah, Trent, our PIO, Trent Ferris, is probably one of the best at what he does anywhere even remotely near us. And thank goodness him or somebody else is doing our website, because it'd be pretty terrible if I had to do it. So, but yeah, it's a lot of resources. It makes us accessible to people. It gives you abilities to let us know things, versus just a phone call, and then we all get those and see them, and we can target things on it. So it is a really good resource that we have, and it is a very, very good tool.
One thing I wanted to hit on from the website that stuck out to me is a few of the initiatives y'all have going on, one being the Project Lifesaver. Is that the name of it? Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about what that is and how important it is?
Yeah, it's really phenomenal. It is for your Alzheimer's, diminished abilities, your special needs, your autistic, or any range of people that could end up wandering off. And it's simply either a watch, a bracelet, or something that they can put on that can be, when we've done the testing and we certified on it, they found people within 7 to 8 minutes. And recently we actually had our first real call out and location of an 8-year-old child.
Wow.
And we found the child within 15 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes, and they had just gotten into an automobile on a hot day. So you take that and let it go into the hours, and then what could happen? And we really had some really good results with people signing up and being interested in the, people becoming more involved in it. We had a lot more deputies and people want to get involved as being part of the team, because the more it grows, the more people. You can't have two people doing it.
Sure.
It almost has to be like your negotiator, your SWAT, your K-9, to where there's a team of people that can respond and be on call that can go locate somebody. So that's the whole point, is to find somebody fast.
Yeah, and there's nothing sadder or scarier than when you get one of those alerts, a silver alert, I think they call it, where somebody's escaped or left a facility, and it's just terrifying. And so to be able to prevent that and get ahead of it is a huge
And we have the K-9. We have probably the best bloodhound unit in the entire country, if not, but that is so much faster when you have something that pinpoints. You have the K-9, of course, as a backup, but that, the speed at which you can find somebody that could be in danger, you really can't replace that. So it's a phenomenal tool. Sergeant Gilbert has been instrumental in getting that going and getting it off the ground and heading that up, which has been pretty amazing. So.
Well, that's great. Well, if you haven't checked out the York County Sheriff website, take a look at it, dive into those resources, look into Project Lifesaver. It really is a no-brainer if you qualify or know somebody that qualifies to get them to apply for that.
Yep.
And we'll be back to chat a lot more with Sheriff Breeden about a lot of other exciting things going on in the community right now. But thanks again for tuning in to Local Justice, and we'll see you shortly.
As soon as I contacted Elrod Pope, they handled everything. Without Elrod Pope's help, I'd have been paying hospital bills for years to come. Elrod Pope just took the stress and they put it on their table and took it off mine.
Coming to Elrod and Pope, I didn't have to worry about anything. Everything was taken care of. It put me in a real calm state because I had someone on my side. I knew that I was in the right hands. It felt great.
We know the type. You like to start early, finish late, make lemon squares, and make payments to the college fund from anywhere in the house. We know you rely on Comporium for the things you rely on most, like a view of the backyard. That's just a bunny, and hundreds of channels to watch, whenever you want. So you may think of us as just your internet company, but we're more like the I didn't know they could do all that company. Comporium, always ready.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not gonna have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
Being there for someone in their time of need is what Green Funeral Home has done compassionately for 4 generations. It's a privilege we take very seriously.
We believe each life should be honored and remembered by family and friends. Whether you choose traditional burial in our chapel or another venue, or cremation provided by our on-site crematory, we will help guide you through each step to ensure your needs are met.
We are also available to discuss pre-planning. Peace of mind that you have helped your loved one by making those difficult decisions.
When the need arises, our family is here for your family.
At Founders, we know your finances matter. That's why we have loans for any reason.
Can Founders help us with our mortgage?
Of course.
Can Founders get me an
auto loan? Not a problem.
Nice.
Can we do something about this?
Home improvements? Absolutely.
How about just getting ahead?
Pay down some bills? We can do that. When you need a loan, our great low rates give you the opportunity to invest in the most important thing, you. So relax. At Founders, we're with you every step of the way.
Welcome back to Local Justice. I'm your host, Ben Leader, and I'm here today with Sheriff Tony Breeden. Thanks again for being here, Sheriff. Look forward to continuing the conversation with him and chatting a little more and getting to know you a little bit better. So I know one of the things that a lot of people don't realize about the role of a sheriff is that it's actually a constitutional role in the state constitution. Right. It's not a appointed role or a created role. It is in the state constitution. And I know kind of a central part of your campaign was highlighting the constitutional aspect of that.
Right.
And being with the law background, that is always intriguing to me. And so I'd love to hear a little bit more about how important that is to you and what your philosophy is in terms of being a constitutional sheriff.
Yeah, and when your oath consists of the United States and the state constitution. And my belief, there's a lot of people that see that as an extreme mentality, but we just wanted to make sure that and one of the things that people have always talked about it, but of course COVID and all of that brought the Constitution really to the forefront, and what people's rights are, and feeling infringed and things like that. And it's not about how you felt, about how serious it was or anything like that. It was just, there was just a lot of feeling during that time that did we lose some of those rights. And and a lot of people had questions about when you'd see some of the videos of agencies coming and asking about guns and things like that. And our belief is we're just going to support what the Constitution says, not adding to it, not taking away, and to just do what we can to protect people's rights. But that's also on our end, making sure that we're enforcing the law within the Constitution. Some people think it's just you're going to protect their rights, but it's also how you apply the law and how you enforce the law. And as well as anybody, that's the single most important thing we can do, is when we apply when we apply enforcement, that we're also adhering to the Constitution. But that's just what I meant by that, is that we wouldn't do anything except what that specifically says, and not to be political, and not to do things to I told everybody I'm not going to work for any capital, whether it's in Washington or Columbia. I'm going to work for the citizens of York County and do what we feel is right, following that Constitution, and do what we feel that we need to do to protect them. And that's really what I see by it.
And I think, the way we have it structured in South Carolina is a great thing, because it forces you to be part of the local community. And, the political aspect of it, I'm sure, brings on its own set of challenges and, time consumption for you. But at the end of the day, you're embedded with the local community, and that's who ultimately decides, whether you get
Right.
to keep your job or not.
Right. And I'm not, the political part of it is inconsequential to me. I've told people I'm not running for any type of reelection. The fact I'm sitting here is honestly one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. So I'm not worried about 4 years from now. I'll never do anything different in 25, 26, 27, or 28 that I'll do now. And, if at that time people want me to do it again, I'll do it again. But I won't do anything to align myself politically to either make that happen or not make it happen. I don't, people say, well, you're a politician now. Well, I'm probably the worst politician there is, because I disagree with it. But, I'm an elected official. I'm not a politician, and I think there's a distinction.
Sure.
So.
Just curious, your military background. I know you went all over the world, I think, during your time with the Marines.
Yeah.
Can you just hit on the countries you?
Yeah. What was funny is when I first came in, I was seeing a girl, bought her a ring, went to Oklahoma for school, and 3 of us were graduating from our class, and they had 3 openings: Okinawa, North Carolina, and California, and each of us wanted one. So we were like, oh, we've got it made. And I was just walking in one day, and the gunnery sergeant, who was, when I first came in the Marine Corps, we had Vietnam veteran Marines. Mm-hmm. Evil creatures is what they were. But, love them, phenomenal, but they were not, feelings didn't matter. Mm-hmm. So I just was walking in, and he was like, hey, aren't you from North Carolina? And I was like, yeah. He said, well, you're going to Okinawa. He didn't say it like that. It was way more colorful. And I was like, what? And so each of us got opposite of what we wanted. And then when I was in Okinawa for a year, I was like, well, that was clearly over with. And I was like, that was a blessing in disguise. But so then I was like, embassy duty, somebody brought it up, and I put in for it. And so then I said, well, I've been gone a year, might as well go. And so I went to embassy duty school at Virginia, Quantico, Virginia, and then I went to Tunis, Tunisia. And while I was there, I went to Algeria and Syria, and then after that, I went to Honduras.
Wow.
So I went in just wanting to go to Lejeune, and I was never stationed in the States. I was gone all 4 years.
Wow.
4 Christmases, 4 Thanksgivings, everything.
Wow.
So,
And did the military service somewhat spark or ignite kind of the road to law enforcement from there? I think you started at Charlotte, Mecklenburg.
Now, ever since I was old enough to even think about what you do, all I've ever wanted to do was be in law enforcement, be an officer. That was it. And saw a lot of interactions with Charlotte Mech, with my mom being victim of domestic, and seeing some of their interactions, some good and bad. And it's the only thing I ever wanted to do. And I just knew that at 19, I needed to get out of Charlotte till I was 21 because of some of the, just to go out and, make sure I turn myself around a little bit and behave a little bit. So when I came back, that's just all I wanted to do. And a friend of mine, John Simmons, was a captain at Mecklenburg County. And I went there for 2 years and I worked with a friend of mine, Ron Elkins, that he came to Rock Hill. And I was getting out. I was going back into construction. And he's like, you have to come down here. I was like, I don't even know where Rock Hill is. And so I did. I came down and I just, as you look back and you just see that, God's had his hand in a lot of your decisions that you didn't know about. And, the song, Thankful for Unanswered Prayers is one of the greatest songs ever because I had so many things I thought I wanted that I didn't.
Right.
And it was just all leading to here where I am now. And you never realize that when you're in the middle of it, but on the backside you see that everything happened for a reason.
That's right. And it all shaped your worldviews and got you to this point.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we'll be right back with Sheriff Breeden here shortly, and appreciate his time, and stay tuned for more local justice.
As soon as I contacted Elrod Pope, they handled everything. Without Elrod Pope's help, I'd have been paying hospital bills for years to come. Elrod Pope just took the stress and they put it on their table and took it off mine.
Coming to Elrod Pope, I didn't have to worry about anything. Everything was taken care of. It put me in a real calm state because I had someone on my side. I knew that I was in the right hands. It felt great.
At Palmetto Pride, we know we have a choice. The choice for a cleaner South Carolina. And it's an easy one at that. Don't litter. No grand gestures or heroic efforts here, but the outcome still has monumental impacts. When it comes to our state, every choice counts and every action matters. From the great outdoors to parks next door, from Main Street to your street. All it takes is a little bit of pride to keep South Carolina beautiful.
When a catastrophe hits, it can be a very stressful time for you. When you have trees on your house, when you have trees on your cars, and you don't know what to do, you call us.
We're not a 1-800 number, we're an 803 number. We've been in business for over 60 years because we take care of our clients. That means taking care of them during claim situations.
We're not 9 to 5, we're 24/7. We're gonna be there when you need us most. Gill Insurance, your local auto owner's agent. Understanding business is how we do business.
When it comes to prescription medications and health needs, Rock Hill residents have been turning to Good Pharmacy for over 50 years.
I've been coming to Good Pharmacy since we came to Rock Hill in 1984, and I would not change pharmacists for anything.
With their knowledgeable staff, you can always trust that your prescription will be filled with complete confidence and care for your health. Good Pharmacy, conveniently located at the corner of Ebenezer Road and Camden Avenue.
At Founders, we know your finances matter. That's why we have loans for any reason.
Can Founders help us with our mortgage?
Of course.
Can Founders get me an
auto loan? Not a problem.
Nice.
Can we do something about this?
Home improvements? Absolutely.
How about just getting ahead?
Pay down some bills? We can do that. When you need a loan, our great low rates give you the opportunity to invest in the most important thing, you. So relax. At Founders, we're with you every step of the way.
Welcome back to Local Justice. I'm your host, Ben Leader, and today I'm here with Sheriff Tony Breeden again. And so we appreciate Sheriff Breeden for joining us today and look forward to continuing to chat with him. I know we talked about the Project Lifesaver earlier. I want to talk about another really great cause that y'all have supported for a number of years, and it's also on the website as well, and that's the Mike Doty Officer Assistance Fund. And I think that's something the community can help support as well. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is and what we can do to help?
The Sheriff's Foundation, is a board and a bunch of people at the Sheriff's Office that participate in it, and a large part of that is the Mike Doty Assistance Fund. They're extremely involved in Keystone Special Olympics, because those were two primary things that Mike was involved in. And so, but another thing is that people don't realize the amount of deputies and their families and things that it helps through hardships. And so those are it's not just something like to do golf tournaments or skeet shoots. There's a lot of things that are done as a result of it. The Doty family is, if you ever get a chance to be around the Doty family, it's a treasure. And his brother, Sergeant Chris Doty, is our sergeant over our wellness. And, he is probably one of the most valuable people we have at the sheriff's office because of that, internal and external, of what he does for our people and in making sure that we have the programs available, that we are understanding that how critical in today's climate deputies' wellness is. And so, in him being heavily involved with both of those is you really can't say how valuable it is. So that's, like I said, it's one of those things that it's a tremendous amount of support from the community, but it's all towards those things of the people it helps. And,
right.
Like I said, those are two of the primary things that he was involved in. Keystone has been a huge supporter. We just did the Doty Run last weekend. We just did the Brothers in the Blue Clay Shoot, Special Olympics Torch Run. So there's just a lot that we try and get involved in. And, we're trying to grow the community service in the sheriff's office more than it ever has as well. Sergeant Gilbert is our community service representative and sergeant over it. We eventually want to have a deputy in every district that does community service in the district. So that's our goal as well, is to have one person doing it within the district and then sheriff's office wide, county-wide.
That's great. And, one of my practice areas in law is workers' compensation, and I've had the privilege of getting to help a lot of law enforcement officers over the years, and I think it's so great that fund can help do some of the things that the workers' comp system can't, because it's simply not enough a lot of times. And to be able to support those officers, if they're down with a head injury or whatever it may be, it's a huge benefit and a pillar of the community, and it's something we want to spread awareness for and continue to support. So, and you talked about kind of the community presence and the community support, and I think that's such a huge part of successful law enforcement agency in today's world is having kind of the boots on the ground and the presence in the communities. Can you talk a little bit about that and just your philosophy on, the officers being embedded into the community? I mean, community service has taken on and gone in so many different directions. It's not just about hanging light bulbs or painting houses. It's really making people know that you're responsive to their needs. And, one thing I've known over the years is community policing, most people want community policing to be that keeps them safe where they live. And most people want really good law enforcement where they live. They don't want to feel that they're being targeted. They want to be protected. But you have to develop that with, you have to engage in the community. You have to talk to people. You have to be receptive. You have to listen to what their concerns and needs are, and to really get to know them and to have a communication. And, we've met with a lot of church leaders. We've met with NAACP leaders, especially early on, so they could have my number and to contact me, and we can build those relationships, and because it's just, you can't wait until something happens to build those relationships. Because if you have an event that is a large-scale event and you don't already have it, you can't build it at that point. So we're trying to do those things on the front end, and just so we can get to know them, we can listen to them, we can hear concerns and address them, and us continue to grow together. And and that's one of the things that we learned at Rock Hill, and with Captain Stinson and his involvement in the community was huge, and we've continued to try and build on that, what I learned there, and just take it to work on relationships, because community policing is really just about relationships. It's not doing toy drives and handing out stuffed animals. It is about relationships and responding to what people need. That's what it's about. Spot on. We're all in the relationship business at the end of the day. Got a few more rapid fire questions for you to help everybody get to know you a little better. What was your first car? It was a Volkswagen Rabbit, and I actually painted
Starsky and Hutch stripe on it, which was the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen. But that was it. And then, but that was really the first car. Chevy Camaro was my favorite car, early '72. But unfortunately, the Rabbit was the first one.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Favorite spot to hang out in Rock Hill?
Golly, I mean, the favorite spot I hang out now is at the Moss Justice Center. I'm there all the time, so we don't, and like I said, we don't really have that one spot. You know, before I came here, I was at Hobo's all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd take the bike up there and just ride up there. I just don't, we don't have that kind of established spot anymore. So,
right.
But my favorite spot right now is probably the Moss, I would say. So, but.
Well, that's good. That's good. And fortunately, you are here and you are in this role. But had things gone differently with the election and you would not be in law enforcement right now, what do you think you'd be doing?
I would be somewhere in law enforcement. My time at INSP was amazing. I had met some great people there, but this is just all I can do. And I went and got my CDL. I would do that. I might, when I'm too old to do this, I might just drive a dump truck or something. Get some flannel shirts, cut the sleeves off of it, and drive a dump truck around is what I might do.
That's great.
But it's just really all I ever want to do. Austin told me the other day, somebody was like, my son, it was like, how you going to do it? And he's like, he's going to do it till he dies. And I was like, all right, I don't know about that long, but that's what he said. So.
Well, we appreciate your time here today. Thank you for sharing some things that y'all are doing and some ways the community can help support some of these great causes behind the Sheriff's Foundation. And so check the website out, yorkcountysheriff.com. Thanks again to Sheriff Breeden, and look forward to seeing you all next time on another episode of Local Justice.
Thank you.
All right.
As soon as I contacted Elrod Pope, they handled everything. Without Elrod Pope's help, I'd have been paying hospital bills for years to come. Elrod Pope just took the stress and they put it on their table and took it off mine.
Coming to Elrod Pope, I didn't have to worry about anything. Everything was taken care of. It put me in a real calm state because I had someone on my side. I knew that I was in the right hands. It felt great.
Kidney disease is becoming more and more prevalent, especially with diabetes and hypertension. My training with kidney disease helps me to talk to patients and guide them through the steps that they can take, the changes that they can make into their lifestyles. And we have a dedicated team of providers, including dietitians and pharmacists that we work with to educate patients towards achieving that.
We know the type. You like to start early, finish late, make lemon squares, and make payments to the college fund from anywhere in the house. We know you rely on Comporium for the things you rely on most, like a view of the backyard. That's just a bunny, and hundreds of channels to watch, whenever you want. So you may think of us as just your internet company, but we're more like the I didn't know they could do all that company. Comporium, always ready.
From my first watch I purchased as a teenager, which still runs today, to the diamond ring I surprised my wife with, which she still talks about today. A gift from Norman Hagee is as good as it gets. Whether it's elegant timepieces by Bulova, Caravel, and Bel Air, or ornamental ironwork-inspired Southern Gates collection, or dazzling fine jewelry. A gift from Hagee is backed by over 60 years of family-owned and operated experience. Norman Hagee Jewelers, for gifts as good as it gets.
For over 7 decades, the YMCA of Upper Palmetto has been dedicated to empowering our community. Every day, we're committed to ensuring that every individual, regardless of circumstance, has the chance to thrive. From life-changing initiatives like the First Thursdays Club to unique health programs and vital water safety education, we're here to uplift, inspire, and transform lives. For more on how you can get involved in all we do at YMCA of Upper Palmetto, visit our website or stop by one of our 12 locations.
We can be amazing.